Welcome to Class 1, Video Retention. Now, the best metric to look at on YouTube is your video retention. Now, what video retention is basically how long once a viewer clicks on your video are they sticking around watching your video for. Now, I learned all of this from a top YouTuber called Mr. Beast. Now, Mr. Beast is a groundbreaking YouTuber. He's taken over the scene on the last few years, and he's one of the fastest growing YouTubers out there, so he's clearly very successful. Now, even in my own work, I've taken a lot of what he said around video retention, put it into my work, and I've seen results on my channel. Now, this first class is going to be a bit talky, but in a second we're going to jump straight into, editing videos, creating thumbnails, and talking about the setup and filming. But just bear with me because this is the premise for how to grow on YouTube and how to be successful, so I thought I'd best talk about it now. So video retention is a stat that can be found inside your analytics on YouTube. When I first started out, I didn't pay much attention to it, but now it's one of the biggest stats that I look at. So for example, if I had a 10-minute video on my YouTube channel, it had 10 views, and every single viewer watched 10 minutes of that video, my video retention would be 100%. That never happens. That is extremely high. However, if, for example, I had a video that was 10 minutes long, I only had 10 viewers again, and they all watched about 30 seconds, my video retention is going to be about 5%. That's too low. Now, to cut it short, the longer your video retention, the better. And the reason for this is that basically, when you make a YouTube video, it goes onto this vast web of YouTube videos out there on all different topics. When people search, your video is going to come up, or sometimes you may have seen it, YouTube recommend videos for you to watch. Now, the way that they recommend videos for you to watch is by an algorithm. Every person has interests, every person out there who watches YouTube videos has patterns, and YouTube kind of look at all the videos out there, they go, what matches up to this viewer, what videos does he want to see? Now, a key thing for us as, wanting to grow on YouTube is we have to make sure that our videos are optimized for the algorithm. Because if they are on the algorithm and they're optimized for that, then YouTube goes, oh, this video is very good, let's push this video towards this other potential viewer. Now, a great way for the YouTube algorithm to pick up your video is to have high viewer retention. Because, for example, right, let's just say that I had a video with 100% viewer retention. That would never happen, but let's say I did. The YouTube algorithm would look at my video and see, right, this guy's made a video. Every single viewer is watching 100% of the video. Every single viewer is interacting with this video, giving it a like. It must be a great video. Right, we can now trust that that video is great because everybody's watching the whole thing. Let's promote it to all these other people out there on YouTube. Now, the more times YouTube promote your video, let's say, for example, you go on your YouTube homepage, you got 10 videos up next, the more times your video gets onto that homepage, the higher chance of having your video watched. Now, every time your video kind of pops up on a homepage or something, that is an impression. Now, the more YouTube promote your video, the more impressions you get because YouTube would chuck your video onto a homepage, then viewers would have like an option of clicking on your video, for example. Now, let's say that 10 people on YouTube at the same time, 5 of them see your video on their homepage. That is great. You've got what are called 5 impressions. So, for example, 10 people are on YouTube, 5 people see your video as a suggested, and then 2 people click on that video. So 2 out of 5 people have clicked on the impression that YouTube showed them, and that would mean that your impression click-through rate is 40%, and that would kind of suggest that, you've got pretty decent thumbnails and titles. Now, that was a lot of information to digest, but to summarize for class 1, you've got 2 key concepts. We've got the impressions click-through rate, and we have also got video retention. In short, the higher quality of your video, the more video retention you get. The more video retention you get, the more likely YouTube are to promote your video on the homepage. The more YouTube promote your videos, the more impressions you get. The more impressions you get, the higher chance people are going to click on your video. And you can see how, that's going to help in the process of getting views. If you're not quite sure what's going on at the moment, do not panic, do not worry, it's going to all make sense very soon. But we've got them 2 metrics, video retention and impressions. We want to encourage video retention by making the quality of our videos much better in the edit, in the filming process, doing small tricks like adding hooks to videos. We're going to talk about that later. And then we also want to increase the impressions click-through rate by making sure that our titles, our thumbnails, and our descriptions are all matching up and are all enticing so that people click on the videos. So you can see here we've got YouTube success, and in the middle is going to be video retention and thumbnails, descriptions, and impression click-through rates. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Now let's jump into the remainder of the course in which I'm going to be teaching you how to increase your video retention and your impressions click-through rate.